Well, it gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 116 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast, ISTHMIAN Prem fan roundtable. Lots of lovely people here today. We've got Lee Parnell, Terry Scott, John Andrews, Gabe back from Enfield, Ian Grant, Aaron Farrow from Hashtag, the mighty Leon, the Hastings man, Paul Hamilton from Dulwich, and Rex Elworthy from Kingstonian. As we do with anyone that comes on this podcast first time, we ask them how they fell in love with their club, a little bit about themselves. So first we go to Aaron, big Hashtag fan. Aaron, tell us how you fell in love with Hashtag, please, sir.
So it mainly started just through the YouTube thing. So I didn't actually properly start a Hashtag. I started at my local team, which is with Waker and Rovers, who are step 5 now. And I started watching Hashtag and taking on board the stuff to then put into like a video for Waker. Chairman had none of it. And then my mate Ben Brooks, who's now playing for Chelmsford, he was going over at the time, and I said, I've been watching Hashtag a while, might as well see how it is. Went over there, everyone so welcoming, Spencer so welcoming. And then obviously last season we played Waker down near mine. Spencer walked past and went, Aaron, this is a derby for you, isn't it, mate? I was like, wow, but he remembers that. Wow. But no, just since then, I've done every game last season, every game this season so far. Home and away, every game. It's such a great club to be around. We've got lots and lots of haters at clubs, but it makes it even funnier at games sometimes.
Well, thanks for that, Aaron. And now we go on to Rex. Rex is a massive Kingstonian fan. Lots going on at Kingstonian that I know Rex wants to have a quick chat about as well. Rex, how did you fall in love with Kingstonian?
Oh, crikey. I think I wanted to take my little boy to a game on his birthday when he was young, and I couldn't get a ticket for Chelsea. So somebody said to me, there's a non-league team instead. Why don't you try that? And just found the atmosphere very welcoming. It was local. It was walking distance. It was a lot cheaper on the pocket. And you get to change ends at half time. What's not to like? I guess probably many of the reasons that lots of us fall in love with non-league football,
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Rex. What we're going to do, because normally we try and go around, but I know Gab's from Enfield is on a time limit. Gab, you ain't been on for a while, sir. How dipping form. You were very charitable. You allowed us into the playoff spots. That's why I love you. Gabs, talk to us about what's happening at Enfield.
Oh, what isn't happening? Since I last came on, I'm blaming the fact that I haven't been on for our dip in form. Because every time I come on, I usually talk about something nice. I usually say, we're up there, we're competing with you lot. You could say, okay, we've played Hornchurch, Billericay in quick succession. That wouldn't excuse going 3-1 up at Hashtag and throwing it away. It wouldn't excuse some really quite strange performances against Folkestone and Cray. I'd like to think people haven't figured us out, but I think the boy, we've got a small squad anyway. The boys are looking a bit tired, and it's just a lot of what came off earlier in the season just isn't really, and we're kind of, the small mistakes are creeping in, but they're proving to cost us really. It's a strange one because we haven't disgraced ourselves by any means. We haven't played badly particularly. It's just we've made 1 or 2 mistakes that have been ruthlessly punished. But you can't do that week in, week out. So fingers crossed. I mean, Canvey on Saturday will be really interesting. Because it as I say, it's we're on a pretty mean run of form, but Canvey's a real test of like, okay, is it just the fact that we've dropped points against the big boys in the last 2, or are there no signs of improvement at all? So we shall see. But I think, Gavin's kind of hinted at potentially bringing people in. As people probably know, we're not the most flush club in the division. So you can go window shopping all you want, but it's in terms of getting the right people in, it can prove quite difficult sometimes. I know one of our old boys in Jerry Gaby's gone to you lot. So all the best to him. Shame not to see him back actually, Enfield, but so we shall see. It was, and that I suppose it was a slight. I guess that Paul will probably have better insight than I will, but it did surprise me the fact that he dropped from step 2 Hungerford last season and couldn't really buy a game in Hakan's Dulwich team. So, but yeah, good luck to him. And you know, hopefully, as friend, hopefully we start turning the corner soon. Because otherwise, otherwise there won't be a corner to turn, and we'll find ourselves kind of marooned in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Canvey at home, haven't you? Or, no,
Away.
you're at Canvey. Ooh.
At Canvey, and we do not have the best record there. Certainly not last year, where we shipped 8 goals in 2 games.
Well, yeah. Well, let's go straight to John then. John, what we saying about Canvey? Obviously, big game Saturday. Turn things around for you.
Very big game. I probably wouldn't be quite as worried as Gabe is probably being though, because we've been a very charitable side lately. I said, I think I was trying to look for an analogy because I was doing a couple of bits of the program this afternoon before I come on, and I was trying to think of the best kind of antidote to explain our form at the moment. And it's a bit like a bag of Rebels. You just don't know what you're going to put out next. Yeah. I mean, obviously since the last couple, we had Folkestone, which that generally was quite a good performance. I mean, we had to battle the wins as well as them to try and get something out of that. But I think we always had that kind of action. So we seem to manage that better than other teams. So that helped us through against them. And it was, good value for win what we got, considering they hadn't lost since the start of the year. But then, Chatham, we just got picked apart. I mean, it sort of showed we were missing men. I think we had our sort of main midfielder got injured in the warm-up. Another boy who's been putting up trees for us on dual reg from Aveley at the minute, Kai Brown. I mean, obviously, not his fault, but God bless him, his father passed away in the week, so obviously he's on passionate leave at the moment. So that left us with a firm option down the flanks. And then, we just got absolutely slaughtered. I think we seen about 4 in 35 minutes. I've never been more sick to hear a song than just can't get enough by Depeche Mode, because God damn it, every time they scored, playing that over the speakers. I think it came on the radio a couple of days later and felt like PTSD.
Throw the radio, the radio go against the wall after that.
What's that? Sorry, mate.
I was saying, did the radio go against the wall after that?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I feel like before I work in a glass manufacturing company, I felt like I wanted to test the strength of the glass, see how the radio could go through it. But no, it's funny. We got the goal back, and I think we were just we just knew we were getting nothing by that point, so we were just having a laugh in the stand. And then they got 5th, which even their fans admit to us afterwards about 6 yards offside. So I was like, oh, lovely. That just sums up our day. And off, we had an absolute calamity in the County Cup last night as well. So it's been a bit of a hellscape of a week, really. So we need a reaction. There's no 2 ways about it on Saturday. We know it's not going to be an easy game. Enfield are up there gunning for a playoff place. So, but I mean, sort of what I was discussing with a few people last night. I mean, it's not great at the moment. I mean, I don't know how much I can give away, but it's a bit bleak. So we need to pull something from somewhere. We need the people who are fit in the squad. I mean, we've got about 7 first-team players out at the moment. So we need the people who are starting to step up, and we need to step up fast.
Sorry to hear that, John. John, thank you for that. Let's move on to Paul. Paul, tell us what's happening at Dulwich, sir.
6 goals in 2 games, and only 1 conceded, which is quite nice. It feels like Hakan's plan at the beginning of the season is finally kind of finally working. Yeah, so we played Haringey, and which was a funny game. We were 2-0 up in about 10 minutes, and it looked like it could get really out of control. And the ref kind of decided that wasn't going to happen. We were denied a penalty and an supposedly offside goal, but and then there was a big middle bit of the game where which just seemed to go in the doldrums. It was kind of like, it was about 60 minutes or so where we just cancelled each other out, and then they got one back. We were all kind of standing around going, "Oh God, here we go," and we held on. They kept going. They're very fit, the team this year, so they kept going and got one in the 90th minute. And then last night, 3-0 over Wingate was it was just
thanks for that. We appreciate that result.
That was I mean, we just bossed them, really. It was physically outmatched them. Second goal was a thing of beauty. Ben and Williams from the edge of the penalty area smashed it at like knee height. It was just one of those gorgeous goals, possibly a goal of the season. But so find ourselves in we're in 10th. Form's quite good. As a friend of mine said, the playoffs is on, because all season we've just been kind of like thinking, really, we're going to get there, and it feels like we are. It feels like we are now. I mean, obviously, we'll probably go on a losing streak of 5 matches, but it feels like it feels like we're good and confident and strong, and the players are playing like a really good team. Like, as I said when I was on it before, this team is almost entirely new. We've only got 2 players left from last year, so it did take quite a while for them to work out who each other were and how to play with each other properly. But yeah, no, it's going very well. Thank you.
Do you want the playoffs to be on, Paul? Because the last time you were on, you were very you were less than enthusiastic about life in the National League South.
Well, I mean, it's not up to me. I mean, it's not up to me. Do I want it to be? Look, it's that funny thing. Look, I'd love us to get to the playoffs. I think if we got to the playoffs and then didn't quite make it, that would be fine. It's kind of, look, of course, I want the team to do well, but and if we did go back to the National League South, then that's so be it. But mixed
sort of glorious defeat would be.
Yeah. Ideally, we'd get through, get into the playoffs, beat Billericay, and then go out to someone else. that would be completely satisfying all round. Defeat the old foe, and then crash out to a team that they can then go and travel to Weston-super-Mare in Yeovil and Torquay.
Well, I think we'll be delighted to do that for you.
Like glorious.
Well, you've got Margate on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Is it at your place, Terry?
No, yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Margate followed by Hornchurch. So that will be quite an interesting start. I mean, we're looking forward to the Margate game because it's Margate and day out, etc. But also Margate's form doesn't look fantastic. So
that's a very, very nice way of putting words. Yes.
Less than good. And then Hornchurch, of course, that's we'll see what we're really made of with them come to our place and see what happens there. Because if we can, I think it was 2-1 when we played them last time, but that was a few months ago. So we'll just wait and see. I mean, it's a nice time to be a Dulwich fan. Last night was the first time, I think, almost all season that we've kept a clean sheet. So it's one of those satisfying matches that every so often they just come along and you just feel really good about what you've just seen. It's about 1 in every 10 matches where it's just everything clicks, it falls into place. You score, the players look good, there's energy about the place.
Good. Right, let's move on to Terry then, because we were talking about Margate. Terry.
Yes.
Margate.
Well, I can't really say a lot, can I? I mean, I think we had some good spells last night, but we still shipped 4 goals.
Just for people that don't know, Terry drove the Margate fans to Hastings and drove them back again and did all this singing for them as well, didn't you, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can only hear one voice from the other end, Terry.
But
yeah.
You must have gone through a whole pack of Strepsils today. I certainly would have.
No.
No?
I'm a little bit croaky, but that's just normal.
Oh, fair enough. If that was me, I would have gone with at least 2 packs of Strepsils.
Nah, never need anything.
I'm normally pretty quiet anyway, so.
Well, yeah. What? Unless it's Daniel Hull on the phone. That's a joke, that one. But no, Terry. So obviously you've got a few players in. An ex-Hastings player, someone called Woes. You've also
I'll reserve judgment on him, I think.
Yeah,
he's
a talent.
Cadell's the one.
He's a talent on Twitter. What? Go on.
Cadell Daniels, the one I want to put on, because he's played for us before, and he's talented, and if he can just pick up on the form he had when he was with us, we might have a little bit of a lifeline there if we can pair him up with Kazim.
It's not like you not to remember.
Yeah, our number 4. His name escapes me for the moment. We call him Kaz, so.
Well, I just called Jerry, Jerry, that obviously used to play for Enfield and at Dulwich. Couldn't remember his last name while I'm doing commentating. So it was just Jerry. It was just, it was that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know. I mean, it's good that you came along. It was a tough.
You know me, I'm not going to miss a game. So.
Yeah, I think you can turn Dulwich. I can already tell by Paul's tone. They're taking you lightly. The players, everyone, they're all going to be drunk coming into the game. They're already overly enjoyed themselves in Margate.
Yeah.
Turn them over.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, we've got the players that we've got coming in. We've had Sam Blackman, our captain. He's been out for a little. He's got a calf injury. Knight, our defender, Lewis Knight from Enfield. Yeah, so he's not playing at the moment. Ben's been out for 3 games. Ben Greenhalgh's been out for 3 games. We've brought in a couple of youngsters. Vinny Bowman's one of our youth section, and he's scored more of our goals than any of the other players in the last couple of games, and he's like 16, 17. I mean, if we can get everybody to sort of gel together, you never know. We might get somewhere, but I'm not exactly hopeful.
Well, I did myself when I saw the game. I thought, you know what? I think Margate are going to turn up, not going to make any effort. They did. Yeah, I mean,
and that's the thing. They are making the effort, and they are trying, and I can't fault them for that because you can tell when they come off the pitch, they are absolutely gutted that we've lost. And I think you get into it with players, you get into a sort of mentality when you're not winning, don't you? It's like once we can get a win or under our belts, it will lift them. It will get them back into it. Get back into a winning spirit.
Your goalkeeper seemed very, very upset with himself yesterday when that first goal went in. He not upset with himself, but he looked very very angry about it. Really did.
I say they all take it really to heart if they haven't performed, And that's the thing. They've got no team goes out there going, oh yeah, I can't be asked today.
All right, Terry. Well, we're going to move on to Rex because I think Rex wants to talk about the Kingstonian protest that's happening on Saturday, or is it happening?
Well, yeah, thank you very much indeed. The protest is definitely happening. So the background is that we're kind of at war with the directors. We started some big, very public protesting last week. T-shirts behind the goals spilling out very clearly, sack the board. Well, they seem to have worked. Our chairman stepped away just yesterday, the day before. Very, very, very bland, bald 2-line statement on our club website.
Could you explain why there's an issue with the board? What's occurring at Kingstonian for people that don't know?
Well, have you seen the league table?
Other than the league table, yes.
We've got 13 points from 25 games so far this season. We think we're on course to finish the season with our lowest ever points tally in a club that's been running since 1885. The directors are quite clearly underinvesting in the club at the moment. There would appear to be a strategy of let's manufacture at least 1 or 2 relegations to get into a lower cost league and limp along like that. You'll probably all be aware that we've been homeless for the last 7 years, none of which is entirely the fault of the current board of directors. We went into administration, and then there was a long, sorry tale of first AFC Wimbledon and Chelsea, not exactly helping our situation. But since then, since 2017, we've been ground sharing. We're currently ground sharing at Tooting and Mitcham, which I'm sure is a lovely place, but it's quite a long way away from Kingston-on-Thames. Our attendances are down to about 100, and it would appear that the directors seem to be happy with the situation. Now, all of this is taking place against the background of about 18 months ago, a group of supporters came together and offered to invest in the club, and they were offering up to 30 grand a year for 5 years. And the directors just basically gave them the runaround, played silly beggars, refused to share any financial information. And we are watching the demise of the club we all love. So we've basically decided now enough is enough. So we started the protests last week.
Yeah.
And part of the reason for coming onto your podcast this evening, thank you very much for the invitation, is to say to Hastings fans that we will be essentially picketing Saturday's game and to ask you to support us in that. We will be remaining outside the ground for the first half of the game. We all sort of hope that we can get into the ground at half time. Seems to be an unwritten rule in non-league football, doesn't there, that if you turn up after half time, you're allowed in free of charge. But outside the ground is quite a decent slope, quite a hill. So we hope we'll be able to see the game from up there. There'll be live commentary anyway, so I'm sure we'll all have our mobile phones with us to follow what's going on. If it's raining, we'll follow it from in the bar, and then we'll go and join the game in the second half. And I'm sure there'll be some noisy protests continuing then. once we get into the ground after half time. So if any Hastings fans would care to show some solidarity with us, you'd be very, very welcome.
Yeah, well, this will be going out first very, very early on Saturday morning, so they will hear it. So
that's super. That's super. We've spoken to the chief steward in charge of the ground, who is entirely sympathetic to what we're doing, has said that he will do his best to support us and not frustrate us. He's confirmed that none of the stewards on duty on Saturday are SIA badge holders, so they won't be able to force us to leave. They'll basically only have the power to ask us. And if they do that and we refuse, I guess it becomes a bit of a sit-in protest at that point, doesn't it?
Well, good luck with that, Rex. I wouldn't like to be in your position. I'd hate to have no ground, and I mean, I wouldn't. Horrible. So I do hope there's some kind of resolution where someone with a bit of money can come in and turn this around for you.
Thank you very much. We hear rumours that a new ground share is just about to be announced. Still not back in the borough of Kingston, slightly closer to home, but at a very much smaller ground with very poor facilities. And there's just no indication whatsoever that we're going to have a competitive budget again next year either. So I imagine we're looking at 2 relegations on the trot. Who knows? Possibly it'll be more. We are urgently now in the process of trying to set up a supporters trust in the hope that in a year or two's time, the remaining directors, however many there are by that stage, will be prepared to talk to us about some form of fan ownership. I guess our model is to try and take 51% of the shares and see if we can get the supporters back together again who were prepared to invest last year but just got snubbed by the board. So, hopefully our future will be back in the borough of Kingston. Obviously, it will be expensive to find somewhere to play, but that's our dream. Hopefully, we will move to a model of fan ownership at some point in the future.
Well, yeah, good luck with that, Rex. I haven't really got any smart answer to you. I mean, on the football front, do you see it as you're done? This season's done and dusted, or
personally? Yeah. I mean, 13 points from 25. We're not going to escape relegation this year, and to an extent, I'd almost say let's not bother. If there is any money left in the club, maybe we need to save it for next year, rather than wasting money trying to fight off the inevitable this year. I mean, what's the point? I think it's quite interesting how the fans are not turning against the manager. There's been no call whatsoever for sack the manager. All the call has been for sack the board. So what I could do, Chris, is I could share a link or two with you when the cameras are off, maybe, and you can find a way of sharing those in the podcast when it goes out on Saturday morning. And you'll then be able to see very visually, spelt out in big capital letters, sack the board, the strength of feeling that the supporters have.
And is the supporter base reasonably united behind all of that? In terms of, I've got some experience of trying to organise boycotts of games and things in the past, and you sometimes get quite a lot of pushback on that. Is
inevitably
behind that?
Inevitably, there's a few that have stayed loyal to the board. Again, inevitably, it's a very vocal minority who frequent the club's forum or the Twitter channels or the Facebook groups, where the strength of feeling is very, very strong against the supporters. I can't pretend it's unanimous, but the strength of feeling is very, very strong. It really is as if enough people have had enough now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I wouldn't be in that position.
Well, yeah, good luck Saturday. Well, we'll see you Saturday, Rex.
We'll see you Saturday. Thanks indeed, Chris. You won't see me because I'm in Cardiff, but I still support.
That's taking the boycott a bit far, isn't it?
Come on.
You don't have to get as far away as you can.
No, I support the club now by helping with the supporters club. There was a big takeover of the supporters club last year by people who felt that it needed to be much more critical of the board. So there was a little bit of a sort of a militant takeover going on there. And the supporters club actually changed its constitution to be more critical of the board, to hold them to account, and to seek accountability and transparency from them. So that's how I support the club at the moment. I get to maybe half a dozen games a year. But the way I try and help the club at the moment is just by trying to motivate the supporters and keep them together.
Cheers, Rex. And don't talk to me about supporters club, and we'll leave it there. Aarron, hashtag season, sir.
Yes. Well, obviously the game last night was bad off the pitch, good on the pitch. Take massive 3 points against Chatham. Yeah, I won't go into too much about that. I've said it all off camera. Saturday was an annoying one. We've been in a bad spell of form recently. Coming up to the game yesterday, a lot of people are injured. We've had our defender injured. A couple of our main starting midfielders out. One of our strikers are out. They'll get someone else in. So going to Hastings, we're always going to be a bit like, okay, these are pushing playoffs. It's take a draw out of it, and just the first half was in fans' opinion, complete shambles. We were just not good at all, and I didn't even see the first goal because it was that quick. I went to get my drum, then heard the music come on. I was like, oh great, here we go.
Deja vu for me last night.
God, I'm definitely going to get PTSD now from Depeche Mode anytime I hear him. At least you got through in reply, though, Aarron. That's the best thing, eh?
Yeah. And then for some reason at the Hastings game, some fans set off a flare at half time. I don't know what that was about. And then the second half, I thought we were much better, really. I don't know from your angle, but where we were behind the goal, it looked like a harsh second yellow for Sam, our midfielder, which, to be fair, it's a shame, really, because Sam Cornish has been really, really good recently, while our two main midfielders are out injured. He's been one of the ones that have been the best out of a bad bunch. But no, yeah, apart from that, it's sort of, our form had been dipping quite a lot. It's all started at the Potters Bar game. The Potters Bar game, again, was completely unacceptable. All the players come over going like, we're really, really sorry. Like, you could see in their eyes, they weren't expecting it at all. But we've got big things coming up. We've got Horsham on Saturday, which we won the last minute winner away, which was a very, very good game. So we're coming into quite confident, obviously, after a brilliant win last night. Just hoping, really, that we can start back on a decent bit of form again. Our midfielders are both back this Saturday as well. We've been up, they told me. So, or hopefully when we get the full team back together again, back from injury, we'll get back on that form again. But I mean, our goal for this season was never really to be pushing. Well, where we are at the moment, anyone would take. Our goal for this season was never really to get playoffs. It was just stay in the league, build ourselves a name, because we don't want to go up too fast. Because it's going to be a season where we go up to the Vanarama South and then just get battered and go back down again. We'd rather just stay in the league, even if it's for like 4 or 5 seasons, just staying in one league where we know that we can compete. And lots of people on Twitter and stuff easy criticising, going, oh, losing games isn't good enough, when we're basically like 6 points from guaranteed safety, whatever happens. So these games, like last night, I come into the game thinking, right, I'll take a draw out of this, because at the moment we're playing tough teams. That's the main thing. We're towards the end of the season, we've got easier teams, I would say. Obviously, we know we can get the points against seeing the other tie that we played against them. But it's our goal for this season as supporters was to go mid-table. And at the moment, we're sitting just atop the playoffs. So even though we're losing games, we're not really moaning.
Aarron, sorry. What's the kind of experience of being a supporter of hashtag like? Because obviously it's a different model. One of the things that drives me mad is sort of actually being at a game and then finding people who weren't at the game have an opinion that's apparently more important than mine.
Yeah.
Because I sort of think, if you're in the ground, you've seen much more than anybody who's not in the ground. What's it like? How does it work?
It's hard to not let frustrations kick in, really. I mean, the amount of stuff we see, especially after the events last night, the amount of people in the comments saying, oh, this happened, and then once we were losing games, after every single tweet it was devs out. We're just like, were you there? Like, even the games against Lewis, we lost 3-2, for instance. Bognor, we lost by was that 6-3 or something like that. But we played well. It's people look straight at the full-time result on Twitter and think, right, enough is enough, get them out, we're losing games. When watching the game and being at the game, we played all right. Like I said with Lewis, we lost 3-2, but I generally, you could see an improvement in the games each game, even though we were still losing. And obviously now we got that reward with the win last night. But yeah, it's really hard.
Does that not drive you mad? Because obviously, as you grow as a club, that sort of ratio of supporters in the ground to supporters who are on the internet is never going to change, is it?
No, I know it's one of the annoying things, really. We're always pushing to try to get more people down who watch us on YouTube, who are, say, for instance, live about like half hour to an hour away, just so we can build the crowd beyond the goal. There's about 20 of us, maybe 30 of us that go home and away each game, all standing on the goal, which is brilliant. But then you look at teams like Hornchurch, like you see big teams with a big, like, could even be like 100+ following, and you were thinking more like, how is there a way that we can get fans down to the games to join us, to be like a massive behind the goal like fan base? Because I've been told so many times the drum overpowers the singing, and it's a shame really that's the case. But all the stuff online, it's really annoying. Like you see, like especially our goalkeeper, since Ted went back to Chelsea, it's the amount of hate towards our goalkeeper is unreal, and it's so much needed.
Is that from people that are not at the ground? They're not at the game. Yeah.
They don't see it, so they're just oh yeah, we're shit. Yeah.
And you're right. You're right. That gets worse as you go up the football pyramid. I watch England a lot, and the amount of people that speak to me about the England game, and they're absolute experts, and they haven't even watched it on the TV, let alone be there live. They're the experts because they've seen the score. Score on Twitter.
I think it's probably the case of, obviously, where we've had Ted from Chelsea, we've been blessed. We've got some 17-year-old young agile goalkeeper in the pro setup, and we've gone down to a National League goalkeeper, and people are thinking, oh, he's terrible. Whereas in comparison to Ted, they're probably not the same level, seeing the experience they've had. But it's still different qualities that our keeper has.
That's not Ted out of the movie.
No.
I just.
He's a bit of an animal.
He was the young lad who played for England, though, wasn't he? He was the under-17s or something like that.
He was the backup in the under-17s, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
such a good
World Cup,
goalkeeper.
wasn't he? He was at the under-17s World Cup. Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, but no, it's the great thing about non-league is just staying in contact with the players. Like I'm now pretty good mates with Ted. Like he's a year younger than me. It's just good that the connection you get with other players and stuff. Like all the players after last night were all done. Is everyone okay? And it was all sort of like everyone sort of came together. I mean, the final whistle went last night. Players on the bench, supporters, everyone just together, just all celebrating. It's just brilliant, and it's what the people online don't see. Like people online can see 3, 4 games, 7 games and a loss, for instance, and think, oh, we are terrible. When if you don't go to the game, we have good parts, we have bad parts.
Do you think that you're sort of victims of your own success, really, because you can be a supporter of hashtag from afar because you've got such great online presence, whereas obviously if we didn't go to the Hastings, it's a little bit harder to be able to keep up with what's going on.
I mean, obviously we've been blessed with how quickly it's blown up on the social media front. That's and it's sort of like people always going to us going, oh, only there because they're famous, and we're just like, not at all really. Like there's like 3 or 4 people who've been there since the very, very beginning. And that's when obviously they were just growing up with only like 10k subscribers, for instance. And then obviously as we've got more people in, like I said, I moved with Brooksy from Wakering just to give it a go to see how it was over there, because I love my non-league football. And it's sort of the whole thing of it just abuse becomes way more apparent now towards us. I mean, we've got, everyone knows the Millwall chant and no one likes us chant. We do that for hashtag now at games because we're just like, well, no one actually does like us sometimes. But it's sort of, every game we go to, we're like, oh, we're expecting abuse. I mean, if someone starts something new, like we get a brand new insight, we're like, yeah, fair play, it's original, you know what I mean? Like we've had everything at this point. But we just are not. And if it's another just normal non-league club, really. Like
you wouldn't be in this league if you hadn't earned that position.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's people go, "Oh yeah, we've used money and stuff." Not really. We're privileged with the players we've bought in, but that's because of the chairman, the manager. It's not due to all the sort of thing like, "Oh, we'll give you like a grand, come play with us." You know what I mean? It's sort of just like the players have signed because of the managers and the chairman, and we've gone up the leagues. Well, we're signing good players. Like all the players that have left us have gone on to play other teams. Like we've a couple of players play for Whittam now, for instance. With other players, like they've all grown up through non-league and they're still playing non-league. But it's sort of we're like a normal team, really. Like we expect to get hate and stuff. And we just find it funny. It's got to the point now. We find it funny.
Aaron, sorry, mate.
Away supporters.
Well, I'm an away supporter, so
me too.
It's mainly.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know you lot existed until about 2-3 years ago. And
that's the thing.
Leon was because Leon, you know a bit more about. Like, I'm not interested in all the social media stuff, but like you were saying, Leon, when it about they're like a YouTube because I didn't know. So that doesn't mean I hate you.
Yeah.
But like,
no, I mean it's sort of it's the minority, you know what I mean? It's sort of, and again, like last night's a complete example. Majority of the Chatham fans were amazing last night, and there was a little small minority that were just, oh, let's pick on these guys because they're probably as weak as other people, and it all just obviously everyone knows what happened. But it's just there's the chance we get towards us. We just find it funny, really, but it's. Where we're
though, Aaron, hang on. What chance for towards you? What are we talking about?
We've got like stick our cameras up our arse, stuff like that.
Well, that's quite funny. Come on.
We find all the chance hilarious. Like if I said if someone
at least the camera's smaller than a drum, love.
Definitely had that one. Games.
I mean, it's just we just find it. I said we just find it funny. It's got this. Everyone gets abused like different clubs and different clubs and stuff. We just find it hilarious. Like we go to the football to enjoy it. If someone creates a chant about us, we just find it really funny. It's a very good club to be around, and people like especially like people online don't see the whole behind the scenes of the players to supporters sort of connection. Especially last season.
Catch-22 about how the sort of model of the club is. As I say, we usually know day to day, in and out, and you see the hard work that's put in behind the scenes and on the pitch. Whereas other people can just look at it through a very filtered lens and just sort of pick out any flaws they might like with it. Yeah,
but you have got that the added problem that you're renowned for your online presence, and yet that means that you've got way more many haters out there just by the way social media works, right? So you are going to attract an awful, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You and also like geographically where you are, you're in a part of Essex where there are a lot of football clubs, so it is quite hard to get hold of fans, actual physical fans, to come and stand in the place. When we went there, it was the beginning of the season. We really enjoyed it. It was great. I mean,
I remember that game,
it wasn't the most well attended match on earth, but it was good fun, and you lot were really welcoming. So but you're whatever league you're in, because of how many followers you've got online, you're going to get more grief than almost everyone else, aren't you? Just by the nature of it.
It's just more like just not really looking at it. I mean, like with our main hashtag people who do all the social media and stuff, they're just like, guys, you know you're at the games, they're not at the game, plain simple, ignore them, we'll hide their comments and stuff. I mean, especially in that bad run of games we've had recently, it's sort of been like the hate has been bush. But it's sort of
being bothered about
that happens with
that's the thing.
Well, just be bothered about it. Like people chat all sorts of shit. It's words don't hurt you. Do you know what I mean? They physically hurt you. So
just take it. It's all just let them get on with it. Absolutely.
You're doing all right.
You need to get around. Sing songs about Hastings. People sing songs about Hastings fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We've heard so many things about Hastings fans. Anyway, let's talk about Hastings for a change. Right, chaps. Yes, it is just chaps that are here. Sorry, I was thinking it was only female fans. I'm looking at Leon's posture slightly. I think we're doing all right, haven't we? I think we're in the 4th place.
Yeah.
As I remember, last time since we've done this, 2 wins, Tag and Margate.
Margate,
I think all of you have been to both of those games. Who wants to start?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I'll chip in if you want. Yeah, I'll chip in. You happy with that?
Start, Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, as same as Paul said, really. Six goals from the last two games, but haven't conceded any. So yeah. So doing really well. It's been it's 2 wins and a draw from the last 3, so going really well. And David seems to be banging them in after you gave him some abuse, Chris, about not claiming he was going to get 30 goals, and looks like he's going to be proven right. I think 25 goals, isn't he, in all competitions?
Yeah, I mean, just for anyone that doesn't know, I had him on the podcast ages ago, and he said he was going to get 30 goals. And when he said it, I nearly laughed. I had to hold myself in. I've said this for a while. I didn't think he was going to get it. And, 25 coming up, and he's breaking that. He's breaking that for the end of the season.
Well, he's got
done him leading scorer in the league.
Yeah, nearly got a hat-trick last night, didn't he? But not quite. 2 goals, got back to brace. So, yes, going really well. See, the team seems to be sort of knitting together really well. And, John Ufa down the wing seems to be absolutely flying.
I'm absolutely made up to be fourth spot at the minute, considering what the changes we've had. Change of management, we've brought in new players. So to be fourth at the minute, I'm absolutely made up with it. I wouldn't move sat outside the playoff spot, so I was satisfied with that. All considered what's happened, but the team's looking good. I think it was helped a little bit by the last 2 opponents weren't really all that, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it like Paul, but I thought Margate was shit. So, but no, but I do think it was helped a bit by the opposition. Like, you look at the highlights, especially the second goal against #. I thought the defending was particularly poor, but you can only play what's in front of you, can't you? And but there's still
good
been good performances
good
like
run,
Nigel. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, still I keep pinging those balls out to John. Yeah, he's on a really good form. David's there at the right place. So I'd say more tap it in than bang it in, but his positional play is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So it's I'm absolutely made up. But obviously we've got Kingstonian this weekend, but we've got a few tougher challenges coming up in Lewis and Horsham, who I think our record against them the last few years isn't great. So much tougher test ahead for the lads, but we're looking good. We're looking a lot tougher to beat than we was sort of September, October time, part of the season.
Definitely.
So it's just good to see players that have got a bit of fight in them. Really, that's all what Hastings fans want to see. Is players are putting it. We've been blessed with the likes of Sammy Adams, Jack Dixon, those sorts of players that will run through brick walls for not only their teammates but for the club. So it's I'm happy.
Yeah, it seemed world apart from what it was at the beginning of the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we had our old mate Don Vos, saw him last night, and he's obviously got a bit of talent, isn't he? But I think he's the wrong player for Margate right now. They're in a relegation fight. I think he's completely the wrong player. But
you're right. I think even in a relegation fight, you need someone who's going to be putting the effort in, don't you? And he certainly doesn't like to do that. So.
No. I mean, fair enough. He may have a style of play where sort of a Berbatov style of football, but you need someone that's going to absolutely run their socks off.
He's playing for Hastings and Margate. He's not playing for. He can't have that arrogance, can he?
No, exactly that.
He has got it on social
media. Gives
you
an idea of how desperate we are, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe so. I mean, like I say, he's obviously got some sort of talent, but
yeah. I think the other thing about what's going well at the moment is the attendance, isn't it? The attendance at the Pilot Field has been really good.
Yeah,
I think. Because I've been going for a few years, but I think the 2,500 against # is the biggest attendance I've seen in the Pilot Field just for a bog, effectively a bog standard league game. I've seen big attendances in for things where we might win something or a cup game or that sort of. But for basically what's just another league game, that was a big old crowd. It's great. It's a real buzz about the place, and brilliant to actually get a performance with that crowd, same as the Dulwich game, really.
Normally we get like a big crowd in, and
exactly.
Poor performance. Nice.
It's really good, and I think going forward we look a bit scary, to be honest. In that I think as # found out, the sort of natural inclination of opposition is to kind of press us, and then we look a bit nervy at the back, and you can kind of get a bit excited that you're getting back into the game as they were. And then
that bloody great thing you've got at 13, it's huge.
And then, you know, we can hit you on the break with the blink of an eye. That's the thing, which wasn't always the case in the past. So yeah, sort of, we look a bit scary.
Did any of the other fans here see, any of the other Hastings fans see Jerry's cartwheel?
Yeah.
When we scored.
It wasn't that graceful. Yeah, he tried a couple of them, didn't he? And then he got knackered.
I've got it on the video. It looks really good. Yeah. So
didn't he get injured
impressive
after
from
that?
our end.
He'll get injured after that.
It was quite impressive.
I mean, it's amazing to score 2 goals in the first minute of 2 home games in a row is ridiculous, isn't it? It's sort of like we've just managed to capitalise on, particularly on John Ufer, on his pace and how skillful he is before the opposition has worked out that they need to pay attention to that. So it's sort of like, 30 seconds in, you're just sort of getting a feel for the game. Oh, they've scored already. And the fullback realises that they're in for a bit of a long evening or long afternoon.
That's what we said last night. We were like, wow, they've scored again in the first minute. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That can be a bit of jeopardy, though, can't it? Because I know a number of times you score early and then spend 89 minutes just going up.
Exactly.
What am I watching?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, we should have been about 5 up by half time last night, really, shouldn't we? We created so many chances.
On Saturday, it looked like it might have been heading that way because we got our goal and then hashtag they looked really threatening. And I think that second goal just absolutely killed it for them. It was against the run of play. The sending off, of course, helped. And then we were happy to sort of sit back and just play keep ball for a bit, weren't we? And I know a few fans were getting a bit sort of critique saying maybe, should try to push for a third or fourth. But you've got to remember, we've got a month up of sort of midweek games, Saturday, Tuesday games. So, maybe it's a bit of
there's always going to be somebody grumbling.
Management there. Well, we've both been supporting this club long enough for me to know that.
I know you said, Aarron, that you thought that you came back into it quite well second half, but I think from my point of view, I think Hastings controlled it better in the second half and just sort of kept it and didn't really need to do anything.
Yeah, it was. We thought it was definitely was a better second half than the first, until obviously the sending off. I mean, as I said, it was, we couldn't really see on the goal why it was a second yellow, but it was
clumsy though. Yeah,
it's when you're already on a booking, it's you've got to be careful. And it happened in very quick succession as well. I think like 3 or 4 minutes within each booking. So the referee already had him in the back of his mind after just booking him, and he goes in for a silly challenge, gets himself sent off.
He gave the ref an opportunity, didn't he?
Yeah,
he gave the ref a chance, really.
Yeah, well, it gave me something to get excited about. I was doing a match day commentary for the first time against Tag, and obviously I did the Margate games. As Lee was saying, I felt that it was very suitable for Hastings. There wasn't too much to talk about. A slightly suspect red card was something to yarn away about for a couple of minutes.
It's annoying as well as the fact that it's not a straight red. We can't obviously then appeal it. So it hurts it even a bit more. But obviously it was all right last night to play. I thought we played all right last night, to be fair. Mindy has gone for Horsham though, which hopefully with our midfielder come back in again should be okay. Then also last night as well, we got our left back second yellowed. So that's another position we've now got to try to find time to play.
So how's the commentary been going then, Chris? Tell us about the commentary.
Commentary, right? The commentary. Me, myself, and Tom Dyson. I nearly got his name wrong there. I'm bloody sitting next to him. Tom Dyson, Laurie. Yeah, it's good fun.
I'd say Tom Hoover, weren't you?
I was going to say James Dyson, and isn't that the bloke who does the Dyson?
That's a trigger joke, isn't it? Sorry, no, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, stop it. No, it's good fun. It's good fun. I think he's trying to reach out to Kingstonian Rex. I think he's trying to contact some people with yourself about maybe doing away day, match day commentary. I'm going to be with the ladies and gentlemen that are going to the game, possibly slightly earlier in the day, so I won't be fully in.
What do you mean, Chris?
Complete intrinsic. Well, I might be. Yeah.
We've got live commentary from the game on Saturday, which is good. So hopefully that's something that we can share with someone from your end as well, Chris.
Yeah. I think Tom's he said he's going to reach out. So that's not
absolutely.
So that'd be great if we can.
Given the fact that we won't be watching the first half of the game, it will be nice to listen to the online commentary, won't it?
Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, that it's going really well. So it's and it's good fun. So I mean, and a first minute goal both times I've done it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Always
Are you doing next Tuesday?
So you see what?
What are you
So
doing
Sorry,
next
there was
Tuesday?
I was putting a little joke.
Yeah.
There. What
No.
next Tuesday's is that Horsham at home?
Horsham, yeah.
Horsham, yeah.
If he hasn't got someone, I'll do it.
Oh,
I
so
tend
are
to
you doing
want
kind of
to-
co-coms?
I'm doing co-coms.
Are you
It's
doing
his
expert
baby.
summarizing?
They're your words. I'll hold on to those words. Yeah. You could call it something. Yeah. So that's what I might be doing. But
Actually, I got touching upon
All going well.
Ian's comments about the capacity attendances. Like it didn't seem like that long ago. We were struggling to get 300-400 through the gate, and now to see 1,000 plus, now 2,000 plus for Saturday games is absolutely amazing. Like when I first started going, it was we was happy to have 500 through the gate when we was Hastings Town in the Southern League, and at some point we was getting gates of like 250 maybe. And yeah, it's testament to obviously who's in charge at the club. I know they're offering tickets to parents of like local school kids and that, which obviously helps. And then
James said he nicked that off Dulwich. Apparently, that's what Dulwich.
We want to be like Dulwich. I did notice a few beardy type people and fancy scarves in the crowd.
Yeah.
I think Windy
Flamboyant
noticed that as
scarves.
well Saturday. But as long as they're spending money and getting behind the team,
Yeah.
What
That
happens?
banger at the bar.
Yeah, what happens
It was
once you get to that point of you're happy with the attendance, and then the beards and people with no socks turn up, and everyone starts moaning about it. There was a bit of a beef online about someone. There was a message to do. Did you see there was a tweet someone put out from our club, which was then taken down very quickly?
Oh yeah, but that doesn't.
Yeah. Some kind of snarky thing about you were celebrating the fact that you got 2,500, which should be celebrated. And someone online,
your club,
someone at the club, not a director. It was someone who's new to the club. I think got had a bit of a rush blood to their head and decided to be rude. And of course, clubs at this level should be respectful of each other. And it's we're really privileged to have the fans, the attendances that we have, but I don't know anyone at the club who actually sneers at other clubs. It's what you've got, and if you can build on that, then great. But yeah, there was there were a few words had with the person who wrote that tweet, and I don't think it's going to be happening again.
Did I say you had two sellout crowd? You had another sellout crowd the other week.
Sorry?
Did I see you had another sellout crowd again last week?
Yeah. On Saturday was 3,300 and whatever. Yeah,
I think it was 3,334, which was the same as our game. Our game against you. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's
I mean, the attendances have it. Last year was quite good. We had a few sellouts, but now it just seems like it's every Saturday, and it's it's a lovely problem to have. I mean, it's great, but it does cause all kind of headaches, because an awful lot of the people who come along are we try to politely refer to them as day trippers. There's an awful lot of people who come once or twice a season and they have a good laugh, but they tend to come in quite big groups. So there's so although there's an atmosphere, there's a lot of singing, there's a lot of fans who go every week, and there's a lot of fans who really know the club inside out. Some games there's just as many people who are there just for the first or second time, which can make the atmosphere a little bit strange. But as I say,
it's like sort of like that time when you have a massive cup tie, isn't it? And you think, oh, the atmosphere is going to be amazing, and actually because it's diluted,
yes,
it's sometimes not.
Yeah.
What I would say, Kingstonian are at home to Dulwich in about 6 weeks' time, or 5-6 weeks' time, or whatever. So there should be room for you all. Make sure you all bring your tennis balls. That'll be quite something for the directors to witness, won't it?
Tennis balls?
Have you not been following the tennis ball protests?
No, sorry.
Think Reading.
Okay.
Google is your friend. You'll find out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I was thinking Priscilla, Queen of the Desert for a second, but that was ping pong balls.
Anyway, that's a bit like going back over. It's a strange territory for us going back to Tooting and Mitcham, because of course when we were shut out of our ground for best part of a year, we went to Tooting and Mitcham, and we've even got songs about hating Tooting and Mitcham, so that was a very weird experience. But Yeah, they let us stay there for what? Yeah, just over a year, and I mean, it saved us. We needed to keep playing. I mean, it's but interesting to hear that you've got this this issue with your directors and that you're getting to protest. We'll have to have a word, because we do have a supporters trust already, and we'll have to have a word amongst ourselves to see what we might come and do, help you with on the game that we're coming to.
Yeah, indeed. I think the regional network manager for our area is actually from Dulwich, so we've already reached out to him and set up a meeting to begin those conversations. So, I mean, obviously, we need our directors to tell us that they're prepared to talk to a trust. We need our directors to tell us that they're prepared to embrace the idea of fan ownership. Otherwise, there won't be much point in setting up a supporters trust, or there'll be less point in setting up a supporters trust. But nonetheless, we look forward to hosting Dulwich. I'm sure it'll be happy memories for you. I mean, it's a fine club. It's the stadium is fine. It's just that it's way too far from Kingston-on-Thames.
Yeah,
and our supporters just hate going there, absolutely hate going there. So the attendance is now fallen so low that we just don't generate an atmosphere at all. And then that kind of snowballs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a funny ground for that as well, with those two big concrete banks, isn't it? And then the huge one on one side where you have to get round it, you have to go up through the building down the other side, and it's all But that was the site of our promotion win. So funnily, so the ground of one of our most sort of one of our nemesis is actually where we had one of our most happy days. It's very strange. And the stadium there meant that it was a sellout, and the view you could see the game. If we'd hosted that game at Dulwich in Champion Hill, you'd have had 2,000 people not being able to see anything. So it was actually playing at Tooting that did have a few upsides, but mainly, I mean, we were very pleased to get out of there eventually because we got our own home.
Good luck to you. Well done. Something we can only dream of.
What, on Saturday, us lot?
Yeah.
I would think 300-ish.
So more than the home crowd then, yeah.
Yeah, 200-300. I mean, from the people I know, almost everyone I know said they're going, and that's just 20 off the top of my head. So, yeah, you'll get a lot. Yeah.
I think that one is in the calendar for every club, isn't it? Everyone just thinks they can do the only fools thing, the Beano to Margate. I mean, we've got that next month as well, and we're all sitting there trying to highlight how we get down. It's always one of the first ones out of the calendar. Just for, like you say, I think the sanctimonial aspect of it, just being the Margate though.
Yeah.
Whatever
make sure you bring dolphins, yeah.
Whatever you do, make sure the coach has had its MOT as well.
That's it. Yeah, check that tape player in the.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be very welcome anyway.
Good. Looking forward to it.
So that sounds excellent. Just quickly, one need to mention, because I was on did a quick interview with James Doe from Non-League Day. Non-League Day 2024, 23rd of March. They're doing, I want to mention it because it's different clubs on here. 10 games that prostate cancer awareness are getting involved with and adding support to, and want to do kind of big days. So if any of your clubs are interested in getting involved, please give James Doe at Non-League Day. He's on Twitter. I'm sure you guys heard of Non-League Day before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So please give them a shout, because they're beginning to kind of try and pick up what games they want to get involved with. It's across the steps, so it won't just be ISTHMIAN Prem, it'll be up. But yeah, please give them a shout. Well, listen, look, thanks, guys. Lee, Terry, John, Leon, Aaron, Ian, Rex and Paul, thank you ever so much. And we'll see you at the game. Take care, guys. Good luck on the games on Saturday, okay?
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
See ya.
Guys.
Take care, guys.